Hello, and welcome back to Capital Country Busways, where today we are at the Luton garage, right at the very top of the map. Well, there is map north of the garage, obviously, because we have a few routes that go north. We have the 103, 100, 101, and 102, and that is 374, and down here the 104 and 105. And of course, bits of Stevenage are further north than Luton as well. So, yes, Luton has a big chunk of major routes coming out of it at the moment. But the 103, 104, and 105 all have the Enviro200 MMCs, as does the 374, but the 374 is more of a minor route. And in terms of main lines, we have the 100, 101, 102 that form a corridor from Luton to Hitchin, with the 100 going to Luton Airport and Stevenage, the 101 just going to Stevenage, and the 102 going to Baldock via Letchworth. Then we also have the 321, which is this big route here that comes down from Luton through Harpenden and St Albans and into Watford. And these routes all have a massive fleet of these Volvo-Wrights with regs that start KX62. The 101, 100, 101 and 102 get these single-decker Wright Eclipse 2s, and the 321 gets these double-decker Gemini 2s. The Eclipses being B7RLEs, the Geminis being B9TLs. So, but they're just in a base coat. They're just in green. So let's paint them, shall we? So I have branded liveries for the 100, 101, 102. They're all branded together. And I have just a standard livery for the 321. But I also have a special livery for the 321 that's only going to be applied to WV-1321. So, this is Morse 1. You might be going, what? I thought we were in 2025. Yeah, but these buses are old. They would have been refurbished probably around 2017, 2018. So, yeah, they are not state of the art anymore. So they're sitting happy Morse 1. It still looks good. But yes, the branding for these routes is the main line. I have a little diagram there. You can see the 100 there from Luton Airport through Luton, Hitchin and down to Stevenage, the 101 from Luton, Hitchin and down to Stevenage, and then the 102 Luton, Hitchin and across to Baldock. And there's a little explainer there across the top, as I do. And I believe all three routes run half hourly, so I put up to every 10 minutes on average. Because, on average it is every 10 minutes or so between Luton Town Centre and Hitchin Town Centre. There we go. Lovely. So yes, these are 62 reg buses, which means they weren't new in any sort of Morse. They were new in New Image. Which, if you remember the sort of latter end of the West Scotland series, it's not finished, it's on hold. I should stress. It's not gone, it's just taking a break. So yes, but these the Geminis were refurbished later, and so they are in Morse 2, and I think this really sits quite well on them. My one thing, and it's a thing that I have with all of the shorter double-deckers, is I don't like how far back the dark colour starts. It does feel like it's just hanging off the back of the bus a bit. But, either way, I think it looks rather nice. And I'm going to take a screenshot of that, because it's very pretty. They look so smart. The Morse 2 looks really smart. There's a special one that we're putting on WV-1321. So, But in the meantime, these are just going to get the standard Morse 2. Because Morse 2 is good. I like Morse 2. But in the new image era, i.e. when these buses were new, the 321 had a brand. You can see that says NI321, New Image 321. That should be very self-explanatory. I'm not particularly creative with my file names because you shouldn't be creative with your file names. They should be easy to find. Anyway, and then we go on to the MMCs. Cool. So I think that's every bus that's in right now. Every bus that's been in since I started. Oh, hello. Let's get you repainted. Very nice. Oh, look how pretty they are. In their Morse 2. There we go. Everything is working just fine. There's an Eclipse. When are the next Eclipses coming back? 1501 is back in a bit. 1503 is back in a bit. 1505 is back very soon. Oh no, 1505 just left. 1506 is back in a bit. 1507 is going to be back in a while. That one's just basically just gone out. 1509's just gone out. No! Just missed it. 1510 basically just left. That literally just left. That basically just left. That basically just left. Oh, hello. Import repaint. Nope, not that one. It is this one. Here we go. 1515 will be back at like 7-ish. 8. That'll be back at like 7. That'll be back at 3. 1321 is the first one in the 321's batch. But that will be getting... Basically, it will be preserved in its new image state. With the new image era route branding. So, 1410... No, 1440... 1540, 1910, 1930... 1925, 2050, 2040, 2000, that's here right now. 1940, 1910, 1510. So the next one back is going to be here at 1410. It should be here now. And I think it's this one. No, it's not. Oh, it might have been. It might have been. Ah, well. Yeah, who's next? That one gets back at 1450, 1440, 1540. So currently it's 1506 that gets back first. I think it's 1506. So we'll wait on that. It will be here for a while, so I won't need to race it to the paint shop. But yeah, the operation out of Luton is doing fairly well, which is always nice. ML for mainline. Mainline is a very sort of, it's not the most creative of brand names, is it? But it does the job. It works. It's nice. I do want a cross connection between Harpenden and Welwyn via Wheatonstead. That would be nice to have. Harpenden, that connection could then also run across to Redbourne, and that's Hemel Hempstead over there. If you're not super familiar with just how close everything is in Hertfordshire, that is Hemel Hempstead, Redbourne, Harpenden, Wheatonstead, Welwyn Garden City. Obviously Luton, but that's Bedfordshire. I think. Yeah, Luton's Bedfordshire. It always amazes me that Luton's in Bedfordshire when it's so close to, like, London. I don't think of Bedfordshire as being that close. Yeah, you know, Stevenage is in Hertfordshire. I think of Bedfordshire as, like, sitting entirely north of Hertfordshire, which I guess it does. It's just a bit of a messy line. Right, 1501 is back. Paint that. Import repaint. Mainline. Nice. Let's check on the Geminis. Aha! You want that. There you go. Something that I did notice when I was doing the livery for that will go on WV-1321 is that I seem to be very good at accidentally making liveries that would have gone very hard in the 1980s. Okay, we'll wait for that one to be cleaned. That is WV-1336. Waiting on bus to be cleaned. Right. There we go. Having a livery in City Bus Manager does make it a lot easier to invest time into playing a series long term. That's definitely something that I've noticed. Is that, or not playing a series, but playing a map for a while, because you can build up your brand, so to speak, and you can sort of build up the story behind it. These two, you can see the progression from Morse 1 to Morse 2. This is sharper, it's a lot more, it's a lot more angular and it's a lot more modern. But you can see how it progressed to that stage from this very soft, rounded look. And the angles in the in the Morse 2 are very similar to the angles in New Image. That was only semi-deliberate, but there was a level of deliberateness to it. When is next on the Eclipse 2s? Cool. Actually, that's not going to be gone long, because that's doing a school bus, I presume. Or a set of school runs. Right. Aha. You are doing nothing for the rest of the day. How unfortunate. And then you're back at 1920, 1715. Okay. 2315, 1815. You are back at 1615. You're back at 1645. Oh, you're here now. I swear I already did that one. Did I hit cancel by accident? I don't know. 1332. 1327 still need to be done. 1325. 1324. I should be checking when they're actually coming back. That's coming back at 7 though. So I should go over all of the routes in a bit more detail. So let's start with the mainline routes, because they're right here. We have the 100 from Luton Airport to Stevenage, which runs from, well, I just said Luton Airport up to Luton, Stevenage, non-stop across to Hitchin, and then non-stop from the edge of Hitchin down to Leicester Hospital and then into Hitchin. The 101 is different, which it starts at Luton Town Centre, then runs through Great Offley and Hitchin, and then through Little Windley. Then the 102 also starts at Luton Town Centre, serving Lilly and Great Offley, to Hitchin, and then into Letchworth and Baldock. So it's a good mix of places served. It's doing what a collection of bus routes like that can do really, really well, which is give that sort of granular service. Great Offley might want 2 buses an hour, but Lilly only needs 1, so we do that. Or, Great Offley might need, I think it's 4 buses an hour through to Great Offley. I don't know. I've forgotten. That is the wrong livery. That's what happens when you use the wrong template. This one. There we go. Fixed it. At least money isn't a problem, because that would have been expensive. Because you do have to pay to repaint your buses. Checking who's home next on the Eclipses. Ah, this one's back in a bit. Where is it? I presume it's just come off of the school bus, so. There we go. Intercept it before the cleaners do, and we will paint it. Very nice. So, yeah, again, I'm just checking for when buses are in next. You're back at the star of the show is back at 1900. That one's back at 1745. That was back at 10 to 8. That was back at 2000. Ah, that one's here. Good. Then 1340 is not back yet, but it is back in the next hour and a half. That one's back in the next not very long at all, actually. So I'll wait for this one to come back. Okay, we've had a problem at where? Which is fine. I'll just repaint this. Import repaint. It's no, not that one, it's that one. Right. We have an H2. Hertford Heath circular, which is a nightmare. I don't want to put any of these buses on it because the Hertford Heath circular requires a small bus. Oh dear. I'm now examining wheelbases. That's got a fairly short wheelbase. The Enviro200s are out. The Citaros might be in if we've got any free, because they've got a short wheelbase for their length. But I don't think that is going to work. So, I think I'm going to use custom denning. And I'm going to head back to Luton. Right. So that's back at 1920. That's back at 2315, 1815. That's so that back in like an hour. That was back at 8. That was back at 10:02. That one's back at 17:45. So that's about half an hour until it's back. I should keep a note of that because it's basically going straight back out. 321 is back at 7. 10 past. 20 to 8. 8. 20 to 9. 10 to 9. Just gone 7, or like 25 past 7, half 7, 10 past 7, 20, 25, 22, 20. Most of the fleet's already done. Like, that did not take long. Which one was it that was due back, like, soon? Not that one. Or that one. Neither of you. There was one due back at like 1745. This one. There we go, paint it. Import repaint. Luton one, very nice. So the next Gemini back, that one's at 7. That one's at half 8. That one's at 10 to 8. 2000. I think it's this one that's due at 1815. Indeed it is. So I'm just going to do another quick check of the Eclipses. It's been a very Luton-y episode. We will get a route done. I just want to livery as many of these buses as I can. Looks like we have a flurry of buses coming back at around 7. So I think once we get to about 7:30, I will call it on the liverying, and then we'll put in a route. We'll put in a route. Don't know if we'll launch it. Probably won't. But we'll put it in. So this is just getting the standard Luton Morse 2. It's looking absolutely gorgeous. So I think the next Gemini back is 1321. So yeah, I'll just check the Geminis again. We have 1321 back at 7, 8:30, 10 to 8, 8, 23:15. We really did miss that one, didn't we? 19:20. Okay, yeah, so there's a couple more that we can do. And then the Eclipses are 1910, 1940, 2000, 2040, 2050, 1925, 1930, 1910, 2025, 2220. So I think the next bus back is 1321. So I'll speed things along, and I'll see you in the paint shop with 1321. So, this is what I mean by accidentally making liveries that probably would have absolutely slayed in the 80s. Yeah, oops. But this is the old 321 branding. You know, a little player, 321 go, and a little rhymey thing. I don't know, it's cute. Oh, what's happened there? Oops. Where's the... I moved the National Busways logo because there was a vent there. What do you mean there's no vent there anymore? Oh well. I'm clearly very smart. But this is the new... well, the old new image livery for the Eclipse Gemini 2. Branded for the 321 with its very striking yellow. So that remains in when is that back? That's back at midnight 15. I'd love to get a picture of the two of those together. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Just for now, I'm going to move this out of sequence so that I can get it next to that one, and I'll put the thumbnail like that. There we go. Now 1321, move back to the top. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at that yellow. I'm taking many screenshots, but that is the 321. I've now been going for 25 minutes without much opportunity for editing. So I'm going to head back to home base, which is in where? Where is where? Where? If you were on the 321, not the 321, the 317 farewell, you probably might remember all the jokes about where, because they put it on the Greater Anglia put the last 317 on Hertford's all day on its last day. So yeah, that was a good day. I enjoyed the last 317. Anyway, I'm going to expand the map. I'm going to get some west. Why am I going to get some west? I'm going to get some west because I want some west. No, I want Rickmansworth, which is over here somewhere. You can see the Metropolitan Line Watford branch there, and the Metropolitan Main Line here. Rickmansworth, therefore, probably about here. Rickmansworth will allow me to extend the work in progress 724, and the 721, which used to run to Rickmansworth, or the 321 back in the London country days, used to run to Rickmansworth. So I'm going to implement, when we get Rickmansworth, the GreenLine 721 as a route between Luton and Rickmansworth. But the 721 in its final form will form a joint corridor from St Albans with the 724 and a 725 down to Heathrow Airport. So you'll have 3 buses an hour from Heathrow Airport to Watford, or Heathrow Airport to St Albans, 3 buses an hour. One goes up to Luton, one goes up to Stevenage, and one goes across to Harlow. That is the general idea. I feel like, however, that I don't have any researchers in. I don't. I have 6, so I'll just ask 2 to come in overnight to get me this west. In the meantime, where should I look? Let's look at London. So over here we have a couple of 181s and a 182. Let's follow the 182, because the 182, I don't know if there is a real-world equivalent to the 182, as I have it. It runs from Ruislip to Edgware, up this way, out, along the through Ruislip, so to town centre, then up through to, where is that? Why do I want to say that's Northwood? I'm almost certain that it's not Northwood. No, it's Pinner, isn't it? Is it Pinner? It's between Pinner and Northwood Hills. There we go. And then runs along through past Hatch End and into Edgware via Stanmore, I believe. Stanmore should be about there, so, well, off that way somewhere. Where's Stanmore? Oh no, this is Harrow Weald. We've got a bit to go until Stanmore. Yeah, there's Stanmore Town Centre, there's Stanmore Station. So yeah, this route uses some BYD BD11s, the BD type, which are very common in London now. There's loads of them. And I would be mad about it if they weren't such lovely buses. I'm kind of mad at how good the BD11s are, because they're genuinely really, really nice. Which means now they're going to be everywhere, because they're probably quite cheap as well, because they're BYDs. But oh well. At least they're good buses that are becoming common. You can see these ones with the light blue branding on the front. Those are for the 142. These single-deckers are Man Lion City 12Es, operating on the 251 that runs down to Wood Green. Also, I did a bunch of repainting for the Gemini 3s off camera. So now almost every Gemini 3 that runs out of Romford and Enfield should now be repainted. I still haven't made the adaptation for the Gemini 3 for edgeware based buses, but you know, we move. That'll be coming. So, yeah, we have... It's good. I like this. Watford is looking quite nice. It's not got a lot going on at the moment, but it's working through. It's working through everything. It's working quite nicely, actually. Cool. The research is happening. Ooh, what's that doing? Is that going anywhere? That is doing the last 336s. Nice. Where is that mech going? That mech is doing a last 333s, which is Hertford to Stevenage via Watton and Stone. So yes, there is a lot going on in London. The W14 uses these absolutely glorious Mercedes-Benz E-Citaro Ks, which are they're just beautiful, and I think they suit a route like my version of the W14 quite well, because it's quite long. It's quite a fast route, actually. Because once you get out of Leytonstone, once you get past Green Man, it basically fires itself up the main roads all the way to Hainault. So Taras are quite good at routes like that. They're very, very good at routes like that, in fact. And then the fact that it's the K means it's got that short wheelbase, so it's nice and nimble for the bit between Green Man and Whipps Cross, where it's going through the back roads. Ooh, we have map. So the map expansion has taken place. Do we have Rickmansworth? We should, because we have Denham. Where is Rickmansworth? There it is. Oh, and we have Loudwater. I like Loudwater quite a lot. It's a private estate. It used to have a bus route. I think it was like the 367A or something like that. And I think it was last year the Amersham District Heritage Group got permission from Loudwater to run a recreation of the 367A through the village. And I went on it, and I have to say, Loudwater Village is so pretty. It's so quaint. I love it. So I will be having a 367A. I probably won't call it the 367A because I don't really like 4-character route numbers. Like, I have the 314A and I have the 331A, but I don't want to make a habit of that. In fact, my not liking 4-character route numbers is why my town routes are all 2 digits, because where they are circulars, I have A and C of each circular. That is the whole reason. It's that I don't like certain things. But yes, we have Croxley Green, Loudwater, Rickmansworth, Chorleywood, Heronsgate, Maple Cross, Denham, Harefield, Ruislip, of course. Let's see what we have this way. We have Hemel Hempstead, very nice. We have Potton End, Great Gadsden. We already had Redbourne. We have Markyate, Caddington. We have Dunstable, which means we have the busway. But we don't have the rest of Dunstable High Street, which means the busway is going to have to sit on the shelf for a little bit. But we have also Harlington, Westerning, and Pollexhill. Now, Harlington is where not Hayes and Harlington, it's where Harlington Station is, duh, on the Midland Main Line. So we could have a route from Harlington to Barton-le-Clay as a feeder into Harlington Station. Westerning can also have a bus route into Harlington. Yes, Harlington Station, if you're into the train spotting, as I am, Harlington Station is a good spot. It's not as good as it once was because, you know, they used to have those glorious HSTs with the VP185 engines, but the Midland Main Line is presumably still fun. But anywho, I am going to find my GreenLine colour, which is my dark green. Here it is. And I'm going to put in the 721, or version 1 of the 721, for, between Luton and Rickmansworth. 721 Luton to Rickmansworth. Heathrow. Oh. There you go. Yeah, Rickmansworth. That should explain everything. And then to Heathrow. There we go. Put that. I don't need the brackets. I know what my things mean. So we will start the 721 at Luton Interchange, and we will start it at stand 1. Then we will run limited stop out. So the 321 goes this way. Is that the way I want to take the 721? Yes. So we will go there. Then we will go there. That is not... I'm not happy to take the 721 like that. I want to take it around like that, because the 721 will use triaxle vehicles. So I want plenty of maneuvering room. So let's stop there, then let's stop there, then we will stop at both of those stops, then we will stop at Hatching Green, then we will run non-stop into St Albans, we'll stop at Chime Square, then we will stop at St Peter Street. Not like that. There we go. Then at the Town Hall. Then at Abbey Station. Actually, no, we won't stop at the Town Hall. There we go. We will stop at Chiswell Green. Ooh, it's going everywhere except where I want it to go. That's fun. There we go. Then I want it to stop at Brickhill Wood. Then at Watford Bus Garage. At the library. I want it to come in, and I want it to stop at Watford Junction Station Stand 1. Then at Watford Town Hall. Where are we? There we are. Yeah, I want it to go in like that. Much better. Then let's go Metropolitan Station approach. Croxley Met. But not like that. And we will terminate at Rickmansworth Station. Or just, we'll call it Rickmansworth. There we go. Rickmansworth, /n, size equals 75%, small caps, limited stop. There we go. And we will start it at Rickmansworth Station Stand 1. And then I will see you on the other side of a jump cut instead of putting all of this back in, where I'll also be able to show off a timetable. Right, so yes, the 721's now in. So yeah, we run limited stop out of Luton, non-stop across to Harpenden, where we stop a few times in Harpenden. We corner cut the 321, 321 goes like that, we go like that. Non-stop down into St Albans, where we stop a few times. Rather than stopping in here at Chiswell Green, I stop here so that we can serve both Chiswell Green and Howell Wood. And I believe the 724 also comes down here in real life. Then we serve Bricket Wood, stop a few times in Watford, then, you know, get near the Metropolitan Station, serve Croxley, and then into Rickmansworth. And by the time we have Heathrow Airport, or when we have Heathrow Airport, I will also have, or, you know, we just need to expand south to get to Heathrow now, because Denham is further west than Heathrow is. And we have Maple Cross. So we will be extending to Heathrow via Maple Cross, Denham and Uxbridge, just as the real 724 operates. So yes, this is, as it stands, 46 miles return, which is 23 miles each way if you're counting. Which means it's going to get a fair bit longer by the time we get down to Heathrow. So, yes, I will see you when we have a timetable to look at on the 721, which we're not going to launch today. I'm just, putting in this route to show that I have ambition. This wasn't just let's paint some buses, even though it was mostly just painting buses. So yes, I will see you when... Actually, you know what? No, there'll be no timetable. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to do it this week. I have no reason to. So, yes, I've been recording for nearly an hour. But let's head down into Luton and just admire our handiwork this week by painting one. Luton, that one. Very nice. So yes, there we are. There is our handiwork this week. You can see the mainline livery in the background. These are more standard Country Morse 2 livery for the B9, and the 321 Go branded original livery that has been preserved for that particular Gemini. So, I think on that note, I will see you next week from Capital Country Busways. Bye bye.